Hello everyone! We're going to talk about how to use image to video in LTX2 and generate long-length videos. You can actually keep extending the video even though LTX2 gives you 242 frames per sampler. You can stitch those together over and over to make much longer videos. We've already covered the basics in previous videos, like how to install LTX2, how to use it, and even how to work with ControlNet across multiple angles. So I won't go over all that setup stuff again. If you need a refresher on installing models or getting everything running, I'll drop some helpful links in the video description below. There are also some new GGUF quantized models out now. You can check those out if you're working with low VRAM or high VRAM. For this workflow, I've set up two different configurations so you can pick what works best for your system. Alright, let's jump in and take a look. Okay, so here's one of the results I got. This example uses LTX2 to create a long-length video, specifically a character speaking. This time, I used LTX2's native audio feature. That means you just put the transcript directly into your text prompt. Whatever your character is supposed to say, you wrap it in double quotes inside the prompt, and LTX2 will generate speech for it automatically. Once that's done, you'll get your final stitched output on the right side here. And of course, you can keep extending your video. Just keep adding more sampling groups. All you need to do is connect the input and output points properly. Stitch the image and audio inputs to the image and audio outputs. You'll notice there are two dots, one blue and one white. The blue dot is for the image, and the white dot is for the audio. Just connect those from your input to the corresponding dots in the stitch output group. When your audio and video lengths match up, you'll get a clean, continuous result. And that's one way to make a talking avatar using LTX2. But here's a heads up. If you're generating really long videos, the audio timestamps might start drifting. That's because the audio and video lengths can end up mismatched as you extend further. Now, about image overlap. In LTX2, your image input isn't limited to just one frame. As you can see here, I'm using the minimum overlap value, just 2 frames. But I've also tested higher values like 10 or even more to get smoother transitions between segments. The sampler actually supports multiple input images, not just a single one. That means you can feed it a sequence of images to help guide continuous motion throughout the video. This is actually the default behavior in the sampler. We showed this in a previous LTX2 video. You can also go a simpler route. I've tried using a custom sampler without the upscaler and with fewer sampling steps. It's faster, but the quality won't be as good as when you use LTX2's two-stage upscaler pipeline. Still, it's totally usable, especially if you're on a low-VRAM system.
Honestly, I used to dread Mondays. Now, I actually look forward to them. Let's check out LTX2 AI video today.
Okay, here's another example using the long-length stitching technique. In this case, each sampler only runs for about 8 seconds. Why? Because I'm using a single sampler pass, no downscaling in stage 1, no upscaling in stage 2. Instead, I start directly from an empty latent image at full resolution and run just one sampling pass. With low sampling steps, like 8 or 12, you can still get pretty decent results. This method relies on distilled models or distilled LoRAs to work. So if your LTX2 model is already a distilled version, like a GGUF model labeled as distill, then it'll work fine. But be careful. If you're using a distilled model, you should turn off the distilled LoRA. Otherwise, you'll end up with double distillation, and that'll mess up your output big time. In my setup, I'm using FP8 safe tensor files. So since the base model isn't distilled, I do need to enable the distilled LoRA. I've also added 2 model loader options, one for high VRAM and one for low VRAM. You can toggle between them up top. Just make sure you've selected the correct file names in the model loader section based on what you're actually using. Once you've got that sorted, you shouldn't run into any issues. There's also a handy switch node here. It acts like a toggle for whichever input model you're using. For example, if you bypass the low VRAM path, it'll automatically pass through the high VRAM model loader data into the rest of the workflow. And I've left some extra space here. If you want to stack additional LoRAs, you can plug them in right here. Now, back to the LCM sampler. As you can see, you can also create a talking avatar-style video with this method. Just feed in your transcript via the text prompt and use the extension groups to stitch everything together. You'll get a character that speaks and moves along with the audio. That said, sometimes it doesn't work perfectly. The character might not actually talk. In those cases, try changing the seed number. Different seeds can trigger different facial movements, and you might finally get her to speak naturally. One thing to keep in mind, I'm not using looping here. Unlike WAN 2.2, LTX2 isn't super stable for looped animations, so you'll often need to regenerate certain sections, especially if something looks off. For example, here's a very practical case. The mouth isn't moving at all, and the facial expression is totally frozen. When that happens, I usually tweak the seed number or adjust the image strength slightly. Then I rerun the generation to see if that brings back the expected motion. Sometimes, just changing the seed and image strength is enough to fix it. Other times, you might even need to tweak the text prompt itself to encourage better motion. Here's a quick demo of how that works in practice, and once you've got a segment you like, you can copy that whole block to extend your video further. Just chain it like we used to do with WAN 2.2, the spaghetti chain method, where you pass the output image into the next input. Now, since LTX2 also handles audio, remember the color coding in ComfyUI. Blue is for image, white is for audio. Keep that in mind when connecting nodes. Your final output should always come from the bottom right corner of the stitch group. Grab that and connect it to the top left input of your next extension block. Then, for the very last segment, drag the stitch output down and connect it to your final video output node, so everything gets stitched into one seamless file. Yeah, that's basically how you do long-form video generation in LTX2.
Honestly, I used to dread Mondays. Now, I actually look forward to them. AI handles my calendar, draft emails, even reminds me to take breaks. It's like having a quiet assistant who never...
Now, here's another example, but this time with high motion, like a car driving. For talking avatars, I usually stick with 2 overlap frames, but if you've got more dynamic motion, like a vehicle moving fast or complex background action, you might want to bump that overlap up to 10 or even higher. Here's what that looks like. When I set the overlap to 10, the motion becomes smoother across segments, but, big caveat, the audio timeline might no longer line up properly. So if you're doing a talking head or anything that needs precise lip sync, I'd recommend sticking with 2 overlap frames max. Higher overlaps work better for voiceovers or scenes where lip sync isn't critical, like narration over scenic drives or background storytelling. In this example, I've got a car driving with people speaking in the background. The text prompt carries through the entire sequence and the video stitches together smoothly. At the end of each segment, LTX2 actually renders extra frames for the overlap. For instance, if you ask for 10 overlap frames, it'll give you 9 usable ones. The math deducts 1 frame internally. You can always check the rendered frames from the previous segment to confirm. Those become the input for the next sampler, ensuring continuity. Now, will it be 100% coherent? Not always. In this car example, the style and shape of the vehicle shift a bit between segments. To fix that, I'd probably add a dedicated LoRA for the car, or whatever main object you're animating that would lock in consistency way better. But even without that, you can still get surprisingly smooth motion by feeding multiple image frames into each sampler. It helps bridge the gap between segments, even when the scenes change slightly. As you keep chaining more blocks, second segment, third segment, and so on, you end up with a full, flowing video like this one. This particular clip is about 15 seconds long, and honestly, you can make these way longer.
There's something about fall that makes every drive feel like a movie.
The sound, the scent, the colors, it's all part of the ride.
This is where you let the road guide you.
LTX2 supports up to 242 frames per sampler. That's roughly 10 to 11 seconds per segment at standard frame rates. So if you chain 3 samplers at 10 seconds each, you've already got a 30-second video. In this example, I'm using the full 242 frames per segment, which gives me plenty of room for motion. Even with the same input image and text prompt, the AI starts introducing more natural movement over a longer duration. In the second segment here, because I have more frames, I can pass clearer, more detailed overlap images. That makes the car look sharper and more consistent, no weird popping in and out of frame. With enough length, you can even simulate a tracking shot. Keep the camera locked on the car as it drives down the road. That's way more cinematic than a choppy, short clip where the object keeps disappearing. In the final output, you'll see the car cruising along a mountain road. Even when it drifts slightly off-center, it stays fully visible in frame, thanks to the longer context and better overlap handling.
There's something about fall that makes every drive feel like a movie.
The sound, the scent, the colors, it's all part of the ride. This is where you let the road guide you.
Now, about the audio. The voiceover script stays the same, but with longer videos, the AI has more length to play with background music and ambient sound. Sometimes it adds nice atmospheric layers, other times it can get a little messy. To refine the voice, I used Chatterbox VC. I took the generated video, extracted its audio, and used that as the target voice input. Then I re-synthesized the voice with Chatterbox and blended it back with the background music or instrumentals. This gives you a much more consistent vocal tone throughout the video.
There's something about fall that makes every drive feel like a movie. The sound, the scent, the colors, it's all part of the ride. This is where you let the road guide you.
Of course, it's not perfect. You'll still need to tweak things, adjust prompts, seeds, image strength to get the best results. And one important note, don't just copy-paste the exact same text prompt across wildly different scenes. LTX2 is super sensitive to prompt structure. If your situation changes, like switching from a close-up to a wide shot, you might need to adjust the wording to match the new context. A lot of the time, success in LTX2 really comes down to how you write your prompt. Small phrasing changes can lead to big differences in motion, coherence, and overall quality. So yeah, that's how you create long-form image-to-video content in LTX2. It takes some trial and error, but once you get the hang of the stitching, overlap, and audio sync, you can build some seriously impressive videos. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!